Look at this. This is perfect. Hi, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where off-screen I did a bunch of missions to get some money, because we wanted to fix this tracking station upgrade required for flight planning, because I think this flight planning that's mentioned here is the one that I wanted to right-click, not left-click. That's a problem with me fucking up the clicks. I want to have the maneuver nodes available to me, and I think this does it. So we're gonna upgrade this from orbits to patched conics, which I don't know what that does in the map. But this now makes flight planning available. I did all the tourists missions to get enough money. These tourists now want to orbit around Kerbal. That's a thing that we'll have to do with a new tourister. Now we want to fly by the moon. We just have to fly by. We don't need to land. We don't need to make an orbit. Just fly by. I also got a bit more science, because every time I did the tourist quest, I did a bit of scientific stuff. And I think that really helped me. So, research and development. What's the right click? What does the next one do? EVAs to collect surface samples. Okay, we'll need that before we land on the moon. But first we want to try out how much do we have. We can afford one of these and one of the bigger ones. This is just aviation for like rover parts, or most likely flight planes. But this will not allow me to, so I have to do this to get all the landing struts that we'll need later for landing on the moon. And this is more stuff that we won't need. So advanced rocketry it is, because I want the Terrier engine, which is the engine that has the highest ISP in vacuum, so the best efficiency. Not the best thrust, just the best efficiency. So we could get even bigger engines. We don't want that. We can have all these. This is mini stuff. Monopropellant tank, but still. Oh, here we have. No, that's liquid fuel engine. I was searching for the RCS thrusters. These are tank adapters. We don't need them. Bigger tanks, we don't need them. But the external fuel duct, that is really important to have that. Advanced construction. These are better separators, better spaced radial decouplers. Did we acquire struts in the last part? What's that? No, that's a high gain antenna. Do we have struts already? Micro landing struts? Because that's the other thing that I want to have. Struts. These are the RCS thrusters I was looking for in advanced flight control, where we get the inline stabilizer and a thruster. Where do we get the struts? Let me look around for a while. Oh, we have it here. Strut connectors. Okay, we just bought that. Okay, so let's see what we want. We could either get photovoltaic cells and bigger batteries, which we don't need yet, because we just want to fly by the moon, not land there. So we also don't. This is the first docking port. We need that if we want to have a rover, like a drone controlled rover on the moon. We need that. More RCS thrusters. Storage unit for what? The delicate equipment is okay, and storage compartments for tourists. We don't need that. These are landing struts. We don't need them yet. A bigger heat shield. We don't need that yet. No. These are the radio decouplers, the bigger ones. These are really helpful. This is the fuel system. So either the fuel system or the bigger radio decouplers, or yeah, that's basically it, one of those two. I want the fuel ducts, so we're gonna go with that. Okay, let's start building our moon rocket. We're going to call it To the Moon. MK1. We're gonna start with a normal command pod. I mean, these re-entry modules are also quite alright, but we want this one. The moment we land, we want a parachute. And not only one, but more. Because we want to attach the Science Junior module to this. Can I please get that side? Okay. Then we want the Science Junior module. And the cargo bay. The service bay. And below that the heat shield. Because this is all that we're gonna take back to Kerbal. We will decouple this later with a 12 decoupler. Yes, that direction. So open this to put in stuff. We want all the science that we can get from the moon. Turn off that symmetry. Yeah. Bit difficult to see what we're doing here at the moment. Wrong direction. What's your problem? What's your problem, friend? Okay, we have to turn that around. So this here, this down. Because when we had this configuration, it worked. Is there still a heat shield? No. Where's the heat shield gun? Ah, it's part of this. So now we can see it. Yeah, okay. So we have this now. We can add our science finally. Placing it in the middle so it doesn't cause any hiccups with the center of mass. We want a barometer and a thermometer. And we're done with this. Wait, electrical. How? They're not too heavy. Can we do this like twofold symmetry wise? Does this work properly? Can we put it at the inner wall? Yes, we can. That's great. Oh no, it will. Whatever. This way. So we got our batteries for more stabilizing stuff. Let's also put in. We had the advanced SAS. We bought that. Where is it? Command and control, small inline wheel. This inline reaction wheel system uses a series of spinning discs that are going very fast to generate the torque necessary to control the spacecraft without wasting any propellant. Please do not attempt to service this device while it's running. So the small inline reaction wheel. So this is what will land back on Kerbal, and because we wanted to land safely, we'll put in this parachute type. Where do we even put it? Up here. Yeah, on the reaction wheel. Like make it centric here so that we know that it doesn't block the crew hatch. We will test to do an EVA before we start to see whether this will fuck us up or not. So, a little bit lower. What will we use to fly around in space? We want the fuel tanks, these ones, that are the same size as our ship. It's T200, T400, T800. Okay, it's the T800 that we want. And we want to combine it with an engine that's good for space, which is the Terrier. So this is what we'll use in space. This is too big. This is too big. We will use them for going out of... it's odd. Yeah. We'll use that to... the big one to ascend, but not for the later stage. And we want a decoupler there. We have our decoupler. This looks like Tutankhamun and sounds a bit Egyptian, but it just says to the moon. We want big fuel tanks. Big fuel tanks. No, not big thrusters, big fuel tanks. The big ones. These have the bigger size. Do we have the fuel tank adapter? No, that's for even bigger size. This is for this size. So this is a fuel tank and an adapter to the biggers. To the big uns. So this is the small one there. This is... oh, this is even more diameter. Okay. So the TX ones are this big. Okay. We don't have an engine for that, do we? Let's look into our engines. We only have the swivel and the reliant. We will take the swivel because it can steer. So all this stuff was bullshit because we don't have the bigger ones yet. So we need a long fuel tank. But there. Not only that one. Wait, we want to do it this way. This is as big as the upper one, so we wanna have at least one more of these tanks, and then this. Now it comes to all the stuff that's lying outwards. We need the radial decouplers. 3-fold symmetry, as it's perfect for balance. Way more perfect for balance than the other ones. And we also want the big fuel tanks here. Am I right in front of it? I am now. That's big. Yeah, that's good in terms of center of mass of this part. There will be an engine at the bottom of this, so bit up wouldn't hurt. They are not centered anymore. God damn it. Centering is always a problem here. So now, like this. Yeah, they're centered again. We want aerodynamic nose cones, so they don't wobble around too much during this part. We will want engines. The liquid fuel engines. So this part should now have a center of mass about here, so not too far away from the radial decoupler. That's why I'm doing it this way. We want more utility. No. Is it cargo? No. Science. Definitely no communication. Ground. Aerodynamics. Payload. Coupling. Robotics. Structure. Struts. This is an adapter? Another one? Why is this adapter here? That's a structural fuselage. That's empty. That's just to extend your tanks. We have the launch stability enhancers. Okay, that's good that we have them. Okay, but we wanted strut connectors. So we want to connect this to this. And because of the threefold symmetry, it's now all connected. We're gonna do the same thing down here, from here to here. So this will help them not to wobble too much when we're if I highlight the struts, okay, we can't tell the struts to destroy themselves, so we have to be perfectly straight when we decouple this, because it will just go backwards and they won't go away from each other. This is part of the thing that's like the force of this radial decoupler. We have it here. The ejection force is only 250. That's not enough to break the struts, I think. We had the struts, where had we? At robotics, structural. They have a shear strength of 150, so if we would decouple along the axis of this strut, then it would be enough, but we have an angle here. So, and we have an angle of 120 degrees or 60 degrees to that. So we will only have about half as much force, so it's only 125. That's not enough to destroy these struts. That's why we need the bigger decouplers later. So these struts get destroyed. So they will not be destroyed, we have to go straight up when we decouple them. Okay, next part. We want fuel. There it is. External fuel. We have a drain valve. That will just let you empty a tank into space if you want to. So you can take extra fuel, but you can get rid of it before you do any maneuvers. But we want an external fuel duct. A flow direction towards the second point. So it has a maximum length of 10 meters, so we can do all weird kinds of weird shit like this. But we want to have a better angle on this. So the shear force on this doesn't say, it gets automatically decoupled, I think. So what we're going to do is something like this. Mirror symmetry, please. Yes, this will work. So all these 4 engines will be active at the same time, and they will be pulling their fuel out of all the 4 tanks, but the middle tank gets simultaneously refueled by all the outer tanks. So the outer tanks will be empty while the inner tank will still be full. We get rid of the outer part and we still have a fully fueled middle stage here. This is the stage that this stage is to get us into space. This stage is to get us into orbit, and this stage is to get us to the moon. So far so clear. So this is from atmosphere into space. This is from space to orbit. This is from orbit to moon. But from atmosphere to orbit, that means we have to be in the atmosphere. So we want ground to atmosphere. And we're going to do this with the big ones. Like the real big ones, I think. We're going to use. So we want radial decouplers. For stability, we want to have our struts that we saw. Not struts, the launch stability enhancers. We want to have them perpendicular here, so that they are... No, that's not what we want to. It's a bit off center, or isn't it? No, it's perfectly centered. I'm sorry, my mistake. So we want this. This will allow us to start. Okay, so we're gonna start our engines, and like a second after we're gonna destroy the launch stability enhancers. But we wanna have couplers, radial couplers, a lot of them. So from here, we want to find the same the same line on this side. That's why it's great that they have markings on it, so that we can see that these two are symmetry equivalent. We are not talking about 6-foot symmetry here, of course. This is rotor inversion symmetry, so this is a 6-bar axis, if you're a chemist and know what I'm speaking of. Or anyone that has to do with crystallography, so a geologist would also understand me. So what we're doing here is hexagonal symmetry, not trigonal symmetry, but not 6-foot symmetry, to be precise. So we have the big uns. How much do the big uns do? Same thrust as the other ones, don't they? Yeah, they have the same thrust. Okay, let's try the big uns. We want to be as perpendicular to this as possible. Oh. It's not always easy to do this. So if I put it here, is it on the radial decoupler? Yes, but it's not perfectly aligned to it. So here. Let's try it. I'm not sure how big they are. So I want to have it like middle. Now it's not attached to the decoupler. Ugh, I hate this. This is also great. Look at this. This is perfect. We'll have to try this. Great. This looks so great. Okay, I think I found a thing for the intro. I was thinking about, what do I do for the intro with a little tiny exciting part to show at the beginning that I introduced for this series. Because I think it works with this one very well. To get you something to look forward to. So let's see if we can place a second one here at the same height. We want to look perpendicular. Which one of those? Which one of those snapping points? We're looking perpendicular to it. This way. Both of these feel wrong. Let's try this one. And the same height. Perfectly misaligned. Great. Look at it again. Take the right snap point of the two. And the same height. Perfect. Perfect. Now we want aerodynamical nose cones. Where are they? Aerodynamical nose cones. Under aerodynamics. So now we want struts. Struts were under structural. Strut connectors. These are supposed to hold to each other up there and also down here, so they don't wobble against each other, but they also shouldn't wobble around this axis. So we will actually connect here and even down here. I hope that these guys don't exert shear forces on them. Okay, so this looks perfect. This may be totally overdone. Totally overdone. This might be actually able to land if I had landing struts to that thing. For a lander though, this is way too big, way too high, and not. It should have like a bigger base so it doesn't topple over, because this already topples over in Earth gravity. Okay, so trying to make sense of the stages. First, the 6 of them get activated. Then we're going away from that. This is like a second after. Then we have these 3 and these 3. I want to have them in the same group. Then these are the 3 and the 1. The 1 and the 3 are supposed to fire at the same time. They are also supposed to start firing down here already. We're gonna start with them. Can I put this inside this? No. Okay, we have to drag them. So all engines start at the beginning. All engines start at the beginning. We will start with like 10% on the fuel engines. And we will go up further. We're gonna release the structural connectors a second after starting our shuttle. Then we will throw all 6 of these away simultaneously in the hopes that they don't destroy these 3. That's why we did the struts, so that it all fits together, hopefully, so that it doesn't wobble too much also. That's also why we added the aerodynamic nose cones. Then we're gonna get rid of these 3. Then we're hopefully already in space. We're gonna get rid of the last part of the ship so that we only have this first part, which will throw that away, then gets activated through an extra. What? Why is that? Throw this away. Then activate the Terrier engine. Then upon return, brake with the Terrier engine, get rid of it. Use all the chutes, but use the drogue chutes first. And the rear chutes later. Okay. This looks like a good one. Let's look at our crew. By the way, I had like a place free when I did my last tourist orbiter mission. So I sent Valentina as a pilot and Bob Kerman as a scientist. So that's why they have 1 XP. But we're going to take Jebediah Kerman because he is level 1 already, which will give him the ability to do prograde and retrograde without having any computer to do it for me. We'll have that later. So we have extra SAS here. We may want to also add an SAS down here for more availability to command our shuttle. Oh god. Do we have the little... We don't have little aerodynamic cones. Okay. Let's... Oh! Where are you? Where are you? Over there. This looks weird now, but I hope it doesn't break it. Because I want... Do we have the right adapter? No? No. No, this is for flight. This is from too big to too small. It's small enough for the other one. This one. No. We want the other adapter. We want the other adapter. We don't have one. We might have it somewhere else. Yeah, we need the other aerodynamic nose cones. God damn it, we need the other aerodynamic nose cones. Whatever, I added more SAS. So, this should already be available to able to fly. And I forgot to start my timer, which is great. So I don't know how much time I've used. Let me look that up. And this was a perfect 30-minute building episode. So, we had an extra building episode with nothing really happening. Oh, this looks great. Can I zoom out so we can see the underlying symmetry better? Yes. Okay. This is great symmetry. Okay. This is great symmetry. Wow. I really like that. Especially since it already looks like the symbol we use for a 3/4 screw axis in chemistry and crystallography. Great. Okay, are we too big? Are we too heavy? No. We're almost too heavy already. Wow. Design checklist, nothing. We didn't forget anything. Okay. Wow. I think we're ready to try this. But we're going to try this in the next episode. Join in tomorrow again to see how we fly to the moon. Or fail miserably. Have a nice day. See you then.